Welcome to another edition of Discover Tinley, where we highlight the people and organizations in town that make Tinley Park a great place in which to live. And as we all know, Tinley Park's a pretty great place in which to live. Program is brought to you as usual by the volunteers of the Community Resources Commission, along with high school, adult, and other volunteers who have helped out put this program on every month for you. So thanks to the volunteers who are helping us out with our programming and everything. Coming up, if you've seen this before, April 7th, Discover Tinley is coming to Tinley Park on April 7th at the Convention Center. And I hope you get a chance to go over there and take a look. A lot of organizations, the village government, businesses, and even free food. Samples will be given up at some local restaurants. Take a shot at Discover Tinley, Convention Center, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on April 7th. If you're seeing this after April 7th, I hope you enjoyed Discover Tinley. Today we're having a program with people who are providing some very interesting recreational benefits to the residents of Tinley Park. Do a lot of things to help out the kids and the adults enjoy life in Tinley Park. And our first guest is kind of new to Tinley Park. Has only been on the job for about 9 months or so now.
9 months.
Director of the Parks and Recreation Department, Shawn Roby. Welcome to Discover Tinley.
Thank you for inviting me, Ron.
Yeah, that's a pretty good title, Director of Parks. And
Yes, it keeps you busy.
Oh yeah.
Let's give it that way.
Actually, it's the Park District Director. Director of Parks is
the technical term is Executive Director.
Okay, there
yes,
you go.
I'm in charge of pretty much everything that goes on in the Park District these days.
You are. You got
Keeps
it.
you busy.
Here's a bit of your background. Where'd you come from, and what's some of your background?
Well, I came from Antioch, Illinois. I was the Director of Parks and Recreation for their department for the last 7, 8 years. I've been in the industry for about 10. I came from the restaurant background with 14 years prior to that. I have a background in education from DePaul University with an accounting background. I then got my MBA from Ashford University. I wish somebody would have introduced me to the Parks and Recreation world long before I actually got involved. My wife is actually the one that kind of steered me towards it, and what a fantastic world. I mean, talk about, you can do something for everyone. There's always something. Instead of little areas of the population, you get to cover everything.
That's right. It's very true. What's kind of your philosophy of running a park? Do you have an overall philosophy of how you like to approach things and approach people?
Similarly to most, I'm a taxpayer as well. I live here in Tinley with my wife and my 5 children. And I believe in collaboration. We all expect our tax money to be spent wisely at all times. So anytime that we can work with our local agencies, that may be the village, it could be the townships, it could be school districts, we should. Wherever those opportunities to save the taxpayer, we should at any time. So if you can run it like a business, as a business background guy, you should. But at the same time, understanding the whole purpose of government in most cases is to provide services to people who otherwise couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And wouldn't seek it out themselves. Nobody's going to build them a water treatment plant in the backyard.
Right.
So
That's true. Well, that's kind of neat there. And the business model, that's kind of interesting. I think that's a good approach to have to, a lot of, maybe more government agencies should have a business model approach to
I think
some things.
you're
might
starting
operate
to
a little
see
better.
that.
Yeah, I think you're starting to see that a little bit, so it might be better to do that. Why'd you choose Tinley, though?
Well, it was kind of an opportunity. My wife and I had come down here a few times leading up to my years through family parties. She's got some extended family here, and I'd always kind of made the joke that I'd like to come here, and when I was back at the time, 7, 8 years ago, and the job opened up, and the longtime director was retiring, and I applied for it. And when I came down, it was really just kind of, I'd already had some experience, and what a beautiful community it was. Everything's kind of you pretty much have everything here that you would need. So it just was a great opportunity. You've got a gem here. The Park District has done a fantastic job with the number of parks. You're talking 40 parks in the community. And
we have that many?
you have 40. In fact, you're going to have 41 here shortly.
Oh, it's okay.
We partnered with the village themselves. They have a park that for a long time was under village control that the Park District and the village have agreed to transfer hands, and we partnered in to redo the park itself.
Which one was that now?
Boer Met Park.
Oh.
So that's going to now come under the Park District guys.
And location of the park?
I'm still new enough that I don't know.
Okay.
It's over here just off of 80th Avenue and north of
Okay.
167th.
I'm trying to remember where that park was too.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
literally off Bormet Avenue.
Oh, okay.
So that's about I apologize.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best
That's
I
all
can
right.
do.
That's okay. We'll forgive you
I'll
for
get
being
it
new.
eventually.
Okay.
We've redone 2 other parks playgrounds this year. Rohoff, which is I believe located off 179th on the east side of town, just got a brand new playground. And then we also did Dinert, which is located right off of 84th Avenue, just south of 171st.
Okay. Now, how often do you replace things? Is this kind of a model of you replacing things every so often?
We have a plan that has us in about a 16 to 17 year replacement. So it's kind of a generational thing. You know, the average life of a playground is almost 20 years. So we're a little ahead of the curve, but you know, then you get some fresh look at it. You know, plus Mother Nature tears these things up. You know, kids certainly can tear them up, and you know, so it's a great model to work off of.
Wow. And we talked about the village board now, so that's I think people don't understand sometimes the park district is a separate governmental agency. It's not part of the actual village government, is it?
No, not at all. In fact, we have a completely separate elected board 5 board members. They're elected every 4 years, at large throughout the community. Many people actually think, and you get a lot of it, they'll call us and ask, oh, my water bill this, or we'll get calls. I get letters regularly from the mayor that somebody had sent him a letter asking something, and he directs them to us, and we'll answer back. And it's just the nature of things. People don't understand sometimes the transition. In fact, I didn't understand much of it until I actually got involved in it.
Oh, yeah. Well, there are some villages where the park department is part of the village government.
Very much so. In fact, in many outside of the state of Illinois, in many other jurisdictions, there are departments. And there are still many departments around us alone. I think Orland Park's a department.
Yes, I think you're right. You're right. Wow. Well, you talk about the parks. You got 40 parks developing now, and you had the 3 kind of redoing of the parks. How about you? We talked before Veterans Park. You doing something over in Veterans Park?
We're in the process of a renovation now. It's unfortunately been a very long process. I think they started this 2 years ago, maybe slightly more than 2 years. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be back. It will be in there here real quickly. That's going to get a renovation. The park's aged. You know, we got the basketball court, the memorial, the actual Veterans Memorial there is falling apart.
Right, okay.
And so the plans are to redo all of that. I believe there's some plans to assist with some of the flooding that may occur in the area. So we finalized our permitting with MWRD. We're currently working through the village through our permits, and hopefully to break ground on that real quickly here.
Oh my! And that's over in Bremertown, the Bremertown area.
Correct.
People, and back then there was a big drive to use flood areas for parks, and that was one of the ones. Yeah, I think in case I was on the park board for a number of years, way back for a while there. So I remember some of these parks getting developed, and there was a big thing back then. Use
Not
some
atypical.
of these detention. Oh, really?
No, in fact, in many departments, districts, there was a big push for a long time. All that open space in detention areas could be utilized most of the seasons. But that was what everybody was taking in. So it's not uncommon to Tinley to have the same problem here.
Okay. Let's talk about the water park. That's a huge part of your park district, isn't it?
Very much so. It's an enterprise fund. So actually all of the monies, all the operations and maintenance are actually funded by those that use the facility. It's not taxpayer funded in any way, shape, or form.
Really? I didn't know
Other
that.
than the construction of it.
Yeah, okay.
When it was built originally. But since then, we have an enterprise fund that pays for all of it.
Oh, my.
So recently, last year, we added a water slide, a 3rd water slide to a tower. It was very successful, and this year we're adding a new play structure and the 0 depth entry for the kids to play on. We're adding a brand new diving board this year.
Oh my!
You know, the water park's 17 years old. There's some maintenance that's got to happen from time to time. But yeah, it's what a fantastic facility. It's a great opportunity. We're in the process of selling memberships now. They started March 1st.
Oh.
So if you're looking for a membership, you know, come on down and get signed up at the Park District.
Wow. Any idea how many people that serves? I don't know. Maybe you haven't seen those statistics yet, but
you know what? I would be completely shooting at the dark here, but I, for some reason, want to say we took 86,000 people through it last year.
Oh, get out.
I think.
86,000.
I believe. No, I could be completely
Well, we'll
off
give you a
base.
couple here
I'll do
and
my
there.
best.
Oh my goodness! That's
Yes,
well,
it's
it's probably
very
one of
active.
the biggest ones, or the only ones around here, isn't there? Not
It
too
is.
Many like
It's
that.
it's kind of one of those crown jewels for us.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been a fantastic place. You know, it's brings a lot of people in Tinley Park and surrounding areas to it to enjoy it in the summertime when the weather's warm.
Wow. Well, talking about funding, how is the Park District funded, and what's your budget every year for?
Well, we have
what you-
two revenue sources as a park district. Outside of some of the agencies get, sales tax and other things and local distributed funds. We don't. The park district are funded in two ways. We're either getting them through taxes, which is the lion's share. I think we collect about $6 million a year in taxes. And then the remainder come through user fees. You sign up for a membership, you get a water park pass, you come for a single day. When you sign up for a class, all of those are user fees. So there's the only two avenues that we have to derive revenue to run the agency.
Oh wow! And you pretty much run the black, don't you, every year?
We do actually. We've been very,
Yeah.
based on auditors' terms, we keep a healthy fund balance.
Okay.
Responsible. Figuring out keeping a fund balance that operates for a year if there's happens to be issues that need to be dealt with.
Do you remember about how much is your yearly budget?
Well,
What
our
kind of figure is
annual
that?
budget is about $13 million.
my.
About 10 of that is operational. The remainder is capital.
Oh my, that's quite a bit.
Yes.
Now, how many people you got working at how many employees are in the Park District, full and part time? You got?
Well, we employ 31 full-timers, and I have about approximately 105 part-timers throughout the course of the year. And we balloon up in the summertime to we had about another 200 plus.
Besides those other ones?
Besides that,
my goodness.
seasonally we hire a lot of kids in the area, high school students, college students, to run our water park, daycare, or day camp, and all of those activities that are going on in the park district.
How does a young person apply for something like that? What's the process for getting into that?
They've already begun that. In fact, I believe most of the hiring is completed, but you can always check with the park district at any time.
Get there.
Yes, they start early. It's
Oh
a
my
big undertaking to hire that many people.
Well, I bet. Yeah, it's got to be.
Got to train them all, and
Oh,
make sure
my
CPR
goodness.
training and everything else goes with it. So
And you've got a fitness center there too. I forgot to mention the big fitness center over
we do
there.
fitness center. We have about 4,700 members.
Oh my goodness.
It's about 4 years old, but they rotate things on a regular basis. It's well kept and a fantastic facility. It's attached right to the rec center.
Yeah. I remember when it used to be over in the south end of town over there.
On Devon Drive. I
Yeah,
believe.
right. Separate facility now, but now it's nice you got it all together in one place there.
100%. It's fantastic.
Well, that's what we taught you. You got about a big 5 or 10 year plan that you kind of have devised a little bit on.
We're working on it now. We've been fortunate. All of the directors, department heads themselves, have plans for all their specific areas, and so I've come in and started to put all that together in one big plan, to kind of give us more of an outlook of what we're looking at for capital funding for the next few years, and now we'll derive a financial plan behind that to help fund that as we go forward. And just, we want to know where we're going. If you don't have that lined out, it's kind of difficult to approach anything.
Right. Any insights as to anything special coming up that you could think of that you want to tell our folks for the first time here? Or,
Well, no, we've got a
yearly-
lot of activities coming up. Obviously summer day camp and our water park is opening up here shortly. You've got the Thursdays in the park at the Park District where we show movies and we have music every Thursday, similarly to
Oh,
what
that's
the
right.
village
I
does.
forgot about that.
But then we have obviously summer day camp for all the kids. If
Okay.
you're looking for a place to take the children, this is, the Park District is a place to go.
Yeah.
Lots of activities. We keep them quite busy with all the activities that the Park District has to offer. You've got the Tinley Junction that'll be opening up here shortly, miniature golf in the batting cages. Obviously, you can't go wrong with the events in the summertime. You've got the 4th of July, which is probably the biggest event, one of our biggest events, if not the biggest.
I remember seeing you last year at that thing.
My very first week,
Yeah, I know.
actually, of taking the helm. So what a
Wow.
blast. I was amazed at what we do.
I
It's
know it.
unbelievable.
I
The
know
staff
it.
is fantastic.
I know it.
So-
Wow. And I got one of your brochure, the regular. It comes out. How often does the brochure come out?
We have 3 of them a year. We have another one. The summer brochure, I believe, is coming out to the public sometime in the month of April, and then
Okay.
classes will start rolling out in May, I believe.
Okay.
That's I'm a little
Yeah,
little
that's
green,
okay,
so
that's all
I may
right.
have that one wrong. But
It's okay. We'll give you a few years to get
I'll hear about it when I
acclimated.
get back.
We'll have you back in a couple of years. Okay, how do people contact you? How should they get a hold of the Park District, and who do they talk to?
well, you can always visit the Park District at www.tinleyparkdistrict.org. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to call 708-342-4200, and we're there to help you whenever we can.
Wow, sounds good. Well, it's been a developing program. I think it's that last year was the 40th or
The
50th?
50th anniversary.
50th anniversary, right?
50 years in the
Yeah,
community.
isn't that something?
It's fantastic. What a great time. It's
I know.
unbelievable the support that the public has given the Park District for
Yeah.
years.
Well, continued good luck. It sounds
Thank you
like
very
you got
much.
a good thing going, and they hired the right person for it. So
I appreciate it. I'm
we'll.
looking forward to 20 plus years here myself.
Okay, okay, thank you. Shawn Roby, Director of the Tinley Park Park District. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Ron.
All right.
Have a
Well, the Park District obviously does a lot with all kinds of people in town, the young people, older people, some of us senior citizens and all that stuff there. They do a lot with recreation especially. But there's a couple other organizations in town that deal mainly with the young people, the kids, the young kids. And we have one of the biggest ones around here tonight, the president of the Bobcats, Steve Bosco. So thanks for coming to Discover Tinley.
Thanks for having me, Ron.
The Bobcats, right?
The Bobcats, yeah.
When did they get going there?
The Bobcats were started back in 1974. So they were started up as a youth sports organization. Pretty much they started with, baseball.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much just baseball for the longest time. And then you move into, softball for girls, because you got to have a girl sport too, right?
Right.
And then, slowly as things progress, people want more. And then you move into softball, or we said softball already, we move into soccer for the kids, because now that's one of the biggest growing sports around. And then we have flag football as an alternative to tackle football. And then, we have a special needs area that we do for baseball. They call it the Challengers. So yeah, we deal with all sorts of sports, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I can imagine that. Who do you serve? What is a certain area? Or?
Well, we serve really anyone that wants to come play for us.
Oh, okay.
Mainly Tinley Park residents.
Okay.
I would say close to 90% of the kids that play sports for us are all Tinley Park residents. So, but we don't turn anyone away. We let anyone that wants to participate come and participate. So,
wow.
we're open.
Okay.
We like having anyone that needs it to get involved or wants to get involved. We don't ever turn anyone away.
I didn't realize you took kids from other areas. They want to come to Tinley Park to play, huh?
We actually have had kids come from as far away as Oak Lawn.
Oh my!
To come play for us. Yeah.
Oh my!
So we have a good reputation. We have great volunteers that always, the amount of time the volunteers put in is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's amazing how you get volunteers to do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it really is. It's they really have the passion. I mean, we have, I would say, probably 300-400 volunteers.
Oh my goodness!
Throughout the year that volunteer their time to coach and do field maintenance and run concession stands and keep things going. It's amazing. We never would be around without all the people that put in this time.
Any idea how many kids you in the program overall for the years?
Yeah. On average, we average probably anywhere between 1,000 kids per season. So we have a fall season and a spring season to our sports. So we offer baseball both fall and spring, soccer fall and spring, softball fall and spring, and then we have flag football in the fall. And the Challengers program that I talked about earlier.
Let's talk about those different programs. Let's start with baseball. You got regular baseball, which is regular team.
Yeah, we have rec baseball, and then we also have competitive baseball, which is travel baseball, which is very big.
How many teams have you got in that?
With our travel baseball, we have about 7 or 8 teams, so not a lot, but I mean it's a lot. There's still over 100 kids that participate competitively. They play a lot of their games in the area, but then as they get older, I think it's about 12U. Their big thing is they go to New York, they go to Cooperstown, and they play in a big baseball tournament out there. But they travel all over the place. They can go to Wisconsin and Michigan, wherever the parents want to take them, and the parents are very up for it.
And that's not cheap either.
It's not cheap, but the nice thing about being a volunteer organization is that we only take enough money to cover what we do.
Okay.
We don't. There's no extra overhead for us. We make sure that we cover everything, and we're able to keep the costs down. We're very reasonable for people that want to get into something like that.
If you want to join, it costs a certain amount for that sport for the season.
Generally, for the recreational sports, we have a fixed amount, a fixed cost for that. On the travel side, we allow the coaches, who are all volunteers, they do their own budgets. They make sure that they, if they want to do 5 tournaments or 6 tournaments, the parents are good for it, and they give them a cost, and they say this is what it is, and that's what it is.
Oh my!
So it's very it's fun. It's very fun.
And talk about that Challenger thing, 'cause that's really seems to be unusual. What is that?
Yeah, the Challengers program was about 25 years ago it was started.
Oh my!
So it's a special needs program for baseball kids. Special needs kids that want to play baseball. Throughout the years, we used to play at Bettenhausen Park, and they would play on the baseball fields. They'd have a special day, then they would play other. There are other Challenger type organizations around, so they actually come in and play. And not only that, but they also play some of our rec in-house leagues and stuff like those players play with them. And then about 4 years ago, we started talking about trying to make this a little more easy for the kids, because it's hard to push a wheelchair on a baseball field with all the sand and everything. And we had a good group of people that really put a lot of hard work into it, and we were able to work with the Park District and build a wheelchair accessible field. So now it's more like it's like a rubberized track.
Oh.
It's like a running track, but it's a baseball field for them. And they come out there and it's free. It does not cost the participants one dime.
Oh my.
The organization itself has supported the Challenger program for years, and with all the people that put the time and the effort into having this field built, through donations, private donations and stuff and whatnot, they're fully funded.
Wow.
It does not cost anyone to participate in that.
Wow. That's fantastic you provide that. I don't know too many other places that have something like that, so Tinley Park is kind of fortunate that you guys provide
very,
something
very
like that.
nice.
Wow.
It's very nice. And the volunteers that help out with that are
It's got to be special, yeah.
It's great.
You got softball. What age levels do you have for softball?
So on our rec program, we go all the way from 5 all the way up to 13.
Oh my!
So wide range. Anyone that wants to play, any age, come on out.
Okay.
We'll have you. Same thing with our soccer program that starts at 4 years old.
4 years old?
Yeah, there's people out there that start at 4. So it'll go usually 4 all the way up to like 8th grade, so 12, 13 years old. And then on our travel side with soccer, that usually starts around 8 or 9, and that'll go all the way up to our oldest team right now is 16, so high school kids.
Oh my! Oh, you go that old, huh?
Yeah. As long as they want to keep playing, we'll let them keep doing it. And like with the travel soccer, same thing. Very reasonable. We don't take any extra money. We don't have we don't pay coaches for everything, and so we don't have to take the money that the bigger clubs do, and we compete really well with the big clubs.
Yeah.
Yes,
oh
we do.
Oh my goodness! And you got travel with that too. Then.
And we have travel with that. We travel there too. It goes. We've gone to Wisconsin, St. Louis, so we go.
You got a lot of
the
kids
place.
involved with that too. That's
On the travel soccer side, you get about 200 kids.
Oh my goodness!
For that, just on travel, and then in our rec program, we have a little over 400 every season. So every fall and every spring, we've got.
That's amazing.
600 kids running up and down the soccer field. That's great.
Wow. Well, at least you know where they are, and they're off
Yes,
the streets. So
that's right.
Thank you. And you got flag football now.
Flag football,
with this
right.
controvery now with football, I'm glad. I guess it's kind of the thing now to have the flag football rather than the.
Our flag football's been around for 10 or so years at least.
Yeah.
So we've been out there just plugging along, and we have a lot of players. We get 200 and some kids for that. So it's a great alternative to the tackle football, and we do a lot of things to. Safety-wise, even with that being flagged, there's still the potential for the concussions and all that. So the kids wear the soft helmets and things like that. So we're always looking out for the safety of the kids.
Okay. And with football, you have to have cheerleading, right?
You have to have cheerleading. Yep. Yes, you do. And we have game day cheer that they cheer at those games, and we also have competition cheer. So it's kind of like a little travel cheer.
Oh my!
So yeah, and that the travel cheer is usually a little bit older competition. It's 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th graders like that age, but I guess if they like it, they do it.
That's right. Well, at least you got
great.
it there for them to do. I think it's kind of neat.
And we usually have somewhere about 100, 150 kids that do the cheerleading. So I mean, we've got kids coming out. I mean, I didn't know there were that many kids in Tinley Park. You know. And you always wonder where they all are, and maybe it's because they're all out playing sports with us.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Did you have something like that? I was going to ask you something else about the coaches. Do those coaches have training? You guys, you mentioned that you have some training for those coaches.
Well, this year we're always looking to make the coaches better. So this year for our softball program, all the coaches are being certified through the National Alliance for Youth Sports. It's an online thing, but it's still something that it helps them understand these kids as they're growing. It's a different day and age here with the way you coach. It's not like when I was growing up where they just yell at you and
Yes.
you have to. There's a different way to coach nowadays. And then travel soccer. All of our coaches are certified through U.S. Soccer.
Oh my.
So they have training classes they have to go to. That's like a 16-hour weekend training class they have to go to. So, yeah, we're always looking at ways to make things better for all the participants.
Well, it's amazing you don't have somebody just walking out the street. I want to coach a bunch of kids there, and okay, have at it. You actually give some qualifications. They have to know what they're doing.
Sure.
These kids are being supervised by somebody who knows a little bit about what they should be doing.
Yeah, and we also just recently in the last few years have started doing background checks on all of our coaches. So yeah, we really want to make sure that the kids are getting the best experience possible.
Oh my goodness! Wow, well that's kind of good. And you get that many volunteers who are willing to do that kind of stuff.
Yes,
that's kind of fortunate.
And the nice thing is we also don't charge them for the background checks. A lot of places will charge them, and parents are like, "Oh, I'm not paying to have a background check." But at the end of the day, it's the most important thing to us. So we provide the free background checks for all our volunteers. Every volunteer that works with a child has a background check.
Oh, good. Hopefully they all pass them.
We haven't had any problems.
Okay. And Brie, where do you play most of your stuff at?
All of our games and fields are all in Tinley Park. Okay. We work very well with the Park District, and you had Shawn on here earlier, and it's a new year for us, so we're working with Shawn, and so we play out at Freedom Field. We play at Bettenhausen Park for our baseball and softball. That's our main home field. We'll play out at Community Park. We'll play really anywhere in Tinley Park that they have fields. We work it out with the Park District, so we're able to do that.
All right, final question. Who do they contact? How do they contact you?
If you want more information on the Bobcats, you can go to our website at www.tinleyparkbobcats.org, and all our information will be up there. Fall sports, I know spring's already here. Fall sports sign-up starts, though, real soon in April.
Fall sports sign-up?
Fall sports sign-up, you have to start early.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you so much for coming. Good luck to you in the Bobcats.
Thank
tremendous program. It's a wonderful job you're doing with that.
Thank you.
Steve Bosco, the Tinley Park Bobcats. Tremendous programs for the kids in Tinley Park. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next month.